Our top story this hour, Cape Coast High Court has cancelled the parliamentary elections in the ASSIN North constituency in the 2020 polls. The court, presided over by Justice Kwesi Boakye, ordered for fresh elections to be conducted in that constituency. The case of the petitioner is that the MP is at the time of filing to contest the 2020 parliamentary elections had not renounced his Canadian citizenship and thus held dual nationality. He further avers that at the close of nominations on the 9th of October, the ASSIN MP had not still renounced his Canadian nationality. He says the ASSIN North MP, who still holds himself as the MP, is a complete violation of Article 94(2)A, and the court should declare his election null and void. Let's now hear from a member of the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee of Parliament, Roxanne Dafiamepo.
Will be to apply for stay pending the determination of the appeal, because you see it's extremely costly to run a by-election when the law on the matter as it is not properly settled as in at the highest level. We are prepared to take this all the way to the Supreme Court. You must have heard that an aspect of this matter went to the Supreme Court yesterday. So the substantive matter, yes, we are prepared to take it all the way to the Supreme Court. And if we are up to the level of review, if it so happens. So for now, we want to urge every party member and every concerned Ghanaian to remain calm once we consider the legal remedies available.
He's been asked not to continue, not to continue holding himself out as a member of parliament. That means you are -1. You are not 137, 137, even as it calls to be.
Yes, technically that's what it means, but hey, we will file an appeal. Like I said, the party will be minded to appeal the decision. And so when that happens, it states that directive.
Including the directive that he shouldn't hold himself out as
yes,
MP.
once we are aggrieved by the decision of the court, and we decide to appeal that decision, then the effect of the judgment will also be stayed. Even though an appeal will not operate as a way of a stay, will bring a proper application to that effect to stay the execution of the order of the court emanating from the ruling, pending the final determination, so he can continue to work.
How do you envisage that may end up even affecting his own morale in the work he does as member of parliament after a court has kind of declared him?
No, this is not the first time. It's not the first time that both the NDC and the NPP have contested parliamentary elections in a court of law, and decisions have been made depending on where it falls. The aggrieved party is dissatisfied and therefore will file an appeal. It's not the first time. So I don't think it will create any strange situation. It's a normal litigation matter. Ruling has come. We are dissatisfied with the ruling. The aggrieved party being the NDC in the matter. And of course, my brother, he himself, as the city MP, would have to take steps to have the appellate courts look into the matter for him.
Some say it's probably a sign of more to come. We know John Moore is also under litigation again, brought against the NDC MP by the NPP candidate in the area.
Yes, I agree. We have about 6 cases in court. The NDC is in court in all the 6 cases. I think we have initiated 2. The NPP has initiated 4. I know that there's one at the Hohoe High Court against the MP for Krachi West, Honorable Adjoa Ntoso. There's the Savelugu, initiated by the NPP. And then we are in court in Techiman South. We initiated that against the NPP. Then the NPP initiated the Jumro one against the NDC. And now this. And so, these are the ones that I'm abreast with. In fact, and the one before the inauguration, that's Sine. Yeah, Sine. So, but that has been determined. So,
with this victory for the MPP, at least in this case, worried?
I'm not worried. I'm not worried. So far as there are remediable steps available, I'm not worried. Yes, that's a lawyer. I'm not worried.
And that was Roxy Nelson Dafiamek. But let me get a quick word from Joseph Opoku-Gakpo in Parliament before I move to my other guests. Joseph, what's the general reaction to this ruling?
Daniel, you know that the MP in question, that Creighton, issues around him have been controversial in Parliament for quite a while now. On the dawn of 7th January, he's an individual that there was a document that was actually served here in Parliament about a court in Cape Coast seeking to restrain him from holding himself out. And so on the floor, there was a protest from the MPs on the majority side that he shouldn't participate in the processes when it comes to the election of a Speaker of Parliament. And all of that drama unfolded on the dawn of 7th January. And for the MPs on the majority side, it's more of a vindication of that position that they held then, that he probably shouldn't have participated in the very early processes that resulted in the election of a Speaker and all. But for the MPs on the NDC side, they make the point that they are going to appeal this. They think that this is a disappointing ruling, and to a certain extent, this is not the last of it yet. From some education that we get in, some conversation has to happen on the floor of the House in terms of probably an official communication of this third ruling to the Speaker, and most likely an announcement of it right on the floor. We're waiting for sitting to begin. We should have started around 11 o'clock, but it's just start. And the indication is that sitting will be getting on any moment. So we're waiting for the conversation on the floor of the House itself in connection with this.
Joseph Opoku-Gakpo, thank you very much for those updates from Parliament. And now we will be doing some more analysis on what it means for the composition of Parliament and the decision-making that, you know, portends for the entire nation. Winston Amwa, Deputy Head of our Political Desk, is with us via Zoom. But let me start off with Justice Abdullah, a legal practitioner. And Justice, my first question is, if Joe Jachikwesin wants to run in a possible future by-election, would he be eligible to do so?
Unfortunately, he cannot do under the present circumstances, considering that the basis for the annulment of the election was on his nationality and indeed on his allegiance. And that hasn't changed. Until that changes, I do not know whether or not he'll be eligible to contest for the new election. Indeed, I foresee the possibility of the state even going after him on the basis of fraudulent. I think I'll leave the charges to the state. However, if you remember the case of Madam Musa Kande, who had to be imprisoned because of the same set of circumstances, almost the same set of facts, except that he was coming from the UK. He held a British nationality, and he was prosecuted because apparently at the time that he also contested and won the election on the ticket of the MPP, he was still holding his British nationality. And as a result, after the High Court annulled the elections that brought him into Parliament, the state went after him on criminal charges. And he ended up in prison. If you remember, he died a few months ago. And I do have the same faith that because it's a criminal offense, the state is likely to go after our new MP. And so most likely the possibility of contesting for the next election is very slim. Almost non-existent, considering that he would have these additional hurdles to surmount with the state. And I do not know how he's going to do that. I know he has good lawyers, and maybe they may be able to bargain and have a better discussions with the state to avoid the possibility of a criminal prosecution. But if until that is done, there are dangers ahead of us in regards to this whole drama.
Right. Lawyer, it's almost a week to the legal vacation for the court not to sit anymore. What's the realistic possibility of appeal and this legal process dragging out?
Well, there is no difficulties with that, notwithstanding the legal vacation, because I do remember the Chief Justice set up some few skeletal courts to deal with election-related matters, and so maybe they will still be sitting to handle such matters, I believe so. In addition to the fact that I do not think that 2 months of legal vacation can adversely affect anything regarding this particular issue, because they'll be able to file, if they're able to file the appeal in case they wish to appeal. Which I believe the lawyers know better. If they want to go on appeal or go on a different mode of setting aside the decision. Whichever way they would like to take, the registries will be working, so they can file what they need to file. And the processes do not stop, really, simply because we are on legal vacation. It is appearance in court that is curtailed because most judges and lawyers will be on vacation. But there are indeed skeletal judges and lawyers who still work. Without having to announce, I'll still be working anyway. So if anyone requires our services, we are, like most other lawyers.
Right. So does that mean that this decision does not necessarily mean that George Achikwesin has to exit the House immediately?
It does, to the extent that this decision is final until an appeal or any other process is commenced to have it set aside. That's the end of it, unless they take additional steps. And which steps are indeed available to them legally. So they can explore them. It could, nobody can tell which way to go if they determine to explore additional options that are available to them. The legal process does not end necessarily with the High Court. Okay. But as to whether there are better chances, is entirely left in the hands of the lawyer.
So what I want to know then,
who's aggrieved.
So what I want to know then is that if he decides to appeal the case, does he still remain in Parliament?
No, you leave Parliament. That's the point I was trying to make. That the legal process does not end, but this decision is final. That's what I mean by being final. And so until it is set aside, you vacate office. And unless you're able to obtain an order to stay the decision of the High Court, which in these circumstances, I do not know whether there's any possibility of those things. But these are matters that are left for the superior courts to determine. But until anything is done to set aside this decision, the Honourable Member leaves office.
Lawyer Justice Abdullahi, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon on Joy News Today. Let's now hear a lawyer and former Minister Alex Segbefia, who is convinced that the ASSIN North seat will remain an NDC seat despite this result.
We have been in court. The day has been one full of surprises. Yesterday we were in the Supreme Court, trying to get the Supreme Court to listen to certain aspects of this case. We were given various instructions by the Supreme Court, which meant that we had to file processes today at this High Court. We were here from 8 o'clock in the morning, right through to 9 o'clock. None of the registry offices that were responsible for filing of these papers was open. The cash office itself was also closed. So we were not able to file processes till after 9 o'clock. But the judge had already gone into court and started giving his judgment. The people of ASSIN North has chosen this gentleman. There is no doubt in anybody's mind that at the time when, there are 3 dates which are very important in this case. The first date is what we say, the filing. The second date is when we actually went to the polls to vote. And the third date is when he actually goes into Parliament to be sworn. If you are nominated as a Minister of State, till you go to the presidency, go through vetting, and the president then gives you and said, okay, now come and be sworn in. Are you a minister? No. The time you become a minister is the point at which you go and are sworn in with the president. If they nominate a judge to be in any position, when does he become a judge? At the point of nomination? It is when he is sworn in. So there are 3 separate dates. And this is a matter we think the Supreme Court has to actually rule on. There's the time of filing, there's the time of election in this particular case, when the election took place, was he a citizen or not? And then there's the time of when he actually swore that I am actually a member of Parliament, in Parliament. 2 of those dates, he was clearly, there was no ambiguity about it. The ambiguity is based on a particular case in a different section of the law. It says you must be a citizen of Ghana if you are not a citizen of Ghana, you cannot hold certain positions. You cannot hold this position, president, you cannot be a chief of defense staff, etc., etc. And in 94.2, it says you cannot be an MP if you owe allegiance. There's a big difference between allegiance and citizenship. And sometimes they are mutually exclusive. This was never addressed in this case. This is part of the reason we wanted to go to the Supreme Court. And we went and were given certain instructions. And part of the applications we were going to do today was for this matter to be halted, for the Supreme Court to make an adjudication similar to what they did in Zaneto on 94.1 to be done with 94.2, so that we know exactly what the outcome would be with regard to this type of a scenario. To circumvent that and not let the Supreme Court have a say on this matter, we think is unfortunate. So it's not a question of delay or the election petition. It's a question of what is right. The bottom line is, what did the people of ASSIN North want? They wanted our candidate to be their representative. So if there is a problem, make sure you take time to actually ensure that truly there had been some problem and therefore he could not. That is not the case. And that is why we are minded at this stage to look at the judgment closely.
Now, youth organizer of the New Patriotic Party, Nana Boakye, who is also a legal practitioner, described the verdict as a victory for democracy.
The court has said again that the Electoral Commission must also, as a matter of this very law and the laws of Ghana, the election of Honorable Kazin, as declared null and void, should proceed to conduct fresh elections. Again, the court also declared that the first respondent at the time of the parliamentary elections in the ASSIN North constituency was not qualified to contest as a candidate. Indeed, we are happy because the judgment delivered, over an hour judgment delivered, was very elaborate. It was hinged, pivoted on authorities, on the laws of Ghana, and at some material moment in the delivery of the judgment, His Lordship even made references to relevant laws, international laws, such as even the Canadian Citizenship Act. We are of the view that this is victory for rule of law, and again we will be waiting for the Electoral Commission's announcement on when the said by-elections will be conducted. Let me also state that we in the MPP, we believe in the rule of law. We have heard from our friends in the NDC that we are using some technicalities to make sure that the sovereign will of the people of ASSIN North will be thwarted. This is false and malicious attempt by the NDC to render our rule of law ineffective, but it is not going to work.
Let's move away from the courts. And for 4 years, a school building sat idle while students of Osu Presby boys studied in a dilapidated structure. After a long wait, students of the Osu Presby Boys School have finally been relocated to the new structure. The students could not hide their excitement. My colleague Judith Auchitando, who followed up on this story from the onset, visited the school and now reports.
We talk about avoiding cheating. Yes. To prevent accidents.
This is how teaching and learning should look like. For 4 good years, this building sat idle while students slumped in a dilapidated school structure. The story is different now.
Well, you can see for yourself. These students are no longer scorched by the sun.
Initially, these boys of the Osu Presby cluster of schools would have to remove their shirts in order to fan themselves as a result of the excessive heat in their previous dilapidated structure. But now things have changed. After constant reportage on the bad nature of their school, these boys have finally been moved into a fully furnished structure.
When we were there, the sun was coming into our class. Then we have heat, no fresh air. So by now when we came here, we have fresh air, we have fans and lights in our class, and we have beautiful washrooms and all those things. When we were there, when there was no social distancing, we were afraid. We were afraid because of the COVID. Maybe someone has it in the class, then it will affect all of us. So we were afraid. But now when we're here, when there was social distancing, we don't have any problem again.
When we were there, some of us, the uniform we wear, the decks always tear the butt of our uniform. But when we are here, we have new decks. And the decks that we have one single. So one person sits on single deck, so we have space on the decks too.
Actually, the thing is, because of the potholes, if you are walking, you could have fallen down, so that doesn't make some of the people to pay attention. But now that we are here, when we are learning, everyone pays direct attention to the teacher and what he's saying.
Not only do students share in this joy, teachers as well. Madam Lydia Ochre is head mistress of the Osu Presby Boys School.
From the other side, life wasn't easy there. Classes were going on though, but teachers and pupils were not feeling comfortable at all. The heat, the dust, and all other things were not actually helping us. But when we moved here, by the grace of God, we are having a very nice place. Lessons are ongoing. Learners are also enjoying.
The Korle Klottey Youth Alliance has also been pushing for the relocation of the students for a while now. The new development has indeed brought great excitement to them. Ni Otenkrayankra is executive director of the group.
We're very much excited that our efforts has not been in vain. We've pushed for it, and today the kids are learning in a very conducive atmosphere. This is all we're all fighting for in Korle Klottey. Our alliance is basically to shape up the constituency or the community to have everything easy for them. And today you can see when you went around, they were all excited. This morning they were happy for their break. They were happy in the classroom. They've had new chairs. They've had everything. So we'll say, well, I thank everybody that puts in their efforts, especially the municipal chief executive.
Although students of the Osu Presby Boys School have been moved into the new building, other students within the cluster still remain in the previous structure. Municipal Chief Executive for the Korle Klottey Municipality, Ni Ejeteria, who spearheaded the movement, however told Joy News that more work needed to be done, like the provision of potable water.
Because there was no water and also at a point no electricity, all these things need to be sorted. And that is what we have done now. So now, once the concrete platform is matured enough for the water to sit on, and I believe that is sometime next week, all the children can move into the school now.
Well, some officials and beneficiaries of the new structure had something to say to Joy News.
We are grateful to Joy News. We even saw the pictures you took the other time, and I was shocked. I said, wow, how can a lady climb up a car for our sake? Yes, we are grateful to you. We hope that you continue to do this good work to help all those who are in need.
Indeed, there's a lot to smile and scream about. Judith Chitando, Joy News.
We stay in education, and the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, says it will embark on a strike from Monday, August 2, if government does not take immediate steps to address what it says is the worsening condition of service of its members. According to UTAG President Professor Charles Mafo, the agreement with government with the coming in force of the single spine salary structure in 2012 meant that an entry-level lecturer will receive the Ghana cedi equivalent of $2,084. They contend that successive governments have been paying lecturers less than that. My colleague, Kweku Asante, was at this news conference and has joined us via Zoom with more. Kweku, what will the impact of a UTAG strike be currently? Kweku, please unmute your microphone. Yeah.
Before I even go into the impact story, the UTAG is saying that they've been trying to have negotiations with government. They've been trying to get government to know that their conditions of service have worsened over the years. And instead of paying them $2,000 as was agreed under the single spine salary structure, governments have been paying them lesser than that. They said they've been paying them $900. That is an entry-level lecturer. And so they say government has been negotiating with a lot of bad faith. For this reason, second, I guess they are going into the strike. But in terms of the impact, most universities already, because of COVID, have suffered some challenges with regards to the academic calendar. University of Ghana, for instance, is about to have its examination. This will mean the semester and the academic year will take a longer period to be able to complete it. For instance, national level 400 students in the University of Ghana and other places who are ready to do their national service in the upcoming national service year will mean they would have to wait, because to be eligible to undertake your national service, you must have completed your university education, you must have passed out, and you must have done some of those issues. And so all those things will come up. But most universities will suffer primarily in terms of teaching, invigilation, and all these other things that the university teachers does at these levels.
Now, the law requires that organized labor informs the National Labor Commission before any such action is taken. Has this been done?
Right. They make agreements and they completely renege on them. And so they think that they've satisfied whatever conditions that the law has made it incumbent upon them to satisfy. And so what they are going to do now is to take the decisions that they think is in the best interest of their members. Now, a strike action from Monday, 2nd August, indefinitely until these concerns are all met.
So when they say the concerns are met, are they saying that government should increase their salaries from what you told me about 5,400 cedis to about 12,000 cedis in a matter of days?
Right. And so you look at today's Wednesday, they are going on strike on Monday. It means government should do this before Sunday, which is even though a weekend. And so they are saying that this increase that you're asking for is not necessarily an increase in salary. So they're just asking government to be committed to an agreement they've had on a single salary structure. They say that most of their lecturers are in very terrible conditions, and that an entry-level lecturer is currently taking around 5,000 cedis. That is the salary as well as the basic premium that lecturers are entitled to. They say this agreement that they've had with government in 2012 should mean that a basic lecturer, that is someone that has just started lecturing, just a normal lecturer, should take around 11,900 cedis, which would mean a senior lecturer would take more than that, an associate professor, a full-time professor, and it goes on and on. And so they want the agreement that they've had to be fulfilled, and so that these raises will be had to lecturers. They don't call this technically a raise. They are saying that this is just a Biden agreement that they've had.
Kweku, thank you very much for those updates from that UTAG presser. Now, for 4 years, the school building sat idle while students of Presbyterian studied in a dilapidated structure. We brought you that story earlier where Judith Ochitando told us about the new structure that has been brought up for the students of Osu Presby School. Let's move to Bintri in the northeast region, where a coalition of women groups there have joined calls for a new constituency to be created for the people of Bintri zonal area. According to the women, the creation of a new constituency from the current Nalerigu Gambaga constituency will facilitate development and help reduce their daily struggles in the area. The women are also pleading with President Akufo-Addo to appoint a native from the area as the next municipal chief executive for the East Mamprushi municipality. With a total population of over 80,000 in about 105 communities, the people of the Bintri zone in the East Mamprushi municipality are still stuck in abject poverty and in need of basic social amenities such as potable water, roads, and electricity. Despite the area having many potentials, including limestone deposits and the biggest market center, residents there who are mostly tribal Kokombes are have very limited access to basic public services, including education and quality healthcare. The women have therefore joined the residents' call for a separation of the Nalerigu-Gambaga constituency.
The biggest challenge is how to better our living conditions here and also our schools. That is why we are out of our numbers asking for a constituency for our home.
Kakum mukla so kam za tingwa so katibo te fable te government no gwam tenene katum
The entire area is troubled and worried about the inhumane living conditions here. So we are begging for the government attention for a constituency to help our area develop and bridge the inequality gap. We need a separation.
So tingwa da bada tunakara marka on secondary school ama ko mo kan mazugu bisma ba ku bela wahala dibuni tuma man ku bela wahala dibuni ne te bisma za ka te fam ne ter government no gwam ten ne ka walga te ba te tori constituency ka te ne nyang zane ngba tum den tune te ba tum sie pa te talar ka sete don te so ku ya poleni ne
that they are needed is too much. But unfortunate is road and the water and the school, they can't able count it. In the market site, when they go to market, they don't have place to sit comforted and sell their thing. So they are being in Nalerigu-Gambaga district. They don't know the government is giving and they don't provide or they don't give it to them or government is not giving. So because of that, he's appealing to the government that they should give us the constituency or a district so that we also can see either he's providing thing and he doesn't come or he's not providing. So that's why he said that he feels government to have mercy on us and able to give whatever we need.
You're live on Joy News today with me, Daniel Daze. Up next is Business with Daryl Kwao.
Good afternoon, welcome to Business. My name is Daryl Kwao. Upper West Regional Minister Dr. Hafiz bin Saleh has revealed that commercial flights will soon resume at the Wa Airport following the dismantling a couple of days ago of the Vodafone mast that was located on the flight path. Now, though he failed to give timelines, he stated many airlines have expressed interest in the Wa Accra route. He was well convinced that it wouldn't be long. The halting of commercial flights at the Wa Airport in March 2020 has impacted negatively on the economic fortunes of the people over there. Joining us is Upper West correspondent Rafiq Salam has more.
One of the challenges that came to the attention of Transport Minister Tukuofure Asiema during his one-day official tour of the Wa Airport a couple of months ago was the sighting of this Vodafone telecommunication mast, which flight operator says was directly located on the path of the flight. As a result of that, pilots flying into or out of the airport go through arduous times to meander their way in or out of the airport. Africa World Airlines started commercial operations at the airport in October 2019 following its renovation and later halted in March 2020.
The planes will come. We are not going to allow the mast to be a standing block on our way. The planes must come and they will come. The only condition is that that mast must be out of the flying path. And we are giving them the opportunity. If they don't do so, I think it's our response, like I said, to remove it ourselves.
Our cameras some few weeks ago spotted riggers on top of the mast busily attempting to dismantle it. We however returned to the site today and found no mast. Only few ancillary equipment could be spotted on. It is not only the Vodafone telecommunication mast that is lying on the flight path. Closer to the airport and about 80 meters away from it, there are several tree species that are also lying on the flight path. Per the instruction of the minister, those trees, numbering about 6, were pulled down. Upper West Regional Minister Dr. Hafiz bin Saleh stated that with the dismantling of the mast, He has quickly formally written to all the major stakeholders and is hopeful that commercial flights will soon resume operations at the airport.
To the minister, I have copied the Ghana airport company as well as African World Airline because they were operating from the airport. So I've written to them as well. As to when they will start, I will not be able to tell. Once we write to them and I get in contact with them, then I'll be able to tell when they will resume. But I believe strongly that it will be sooner than later because they are also determined to start operations. You will realize that when the Minister for Transport came here, he indicated that indeed the management of Africa World told him that the WA route was one of their lucrative routes. So they are business people. They will want to start operations so that they can make money.
Though the commercial flights are yet to resume operations, Dr. Binsali is already talking about the benefit that the people of the region will derive from it.
Rafiq Salam with that report for us. Now, the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, has called for cool heads to prevail over the trade impasse between Ghana and Nigeria after indications that Parliament intends reviewing the retail laws to accommodate Nigerian traders and those from other ECOWAS countries. According to him, his address to the Nigerian Parliament was misrepresented. Meeting with leadership of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, the Speaker debunked claims about attempts to review the GIPC law on retail trade in favor of Nigerian traders.
I know how you feel about the trade impasse between Ghana and Nigeria. And that is the main reason why I give you all this time to pour out your heart and your feelings, which I think you have excellently exhibited here. Sometimes we could see that it was not only passion, but there was also anger. You know, you've gone through a lot, but I actually called you because I got worried. I got worried not to represent what I said in Nigeria. But it's not everything you respond. And so I thought nobody. But on daily basis, I was hearing these things, seeing on TV and the rest. And I thought that
All right, there's more coming up on the marketplace. Don't go anywhere. That's at the top of the hour. Up next is sports with Muftal.
Captain of the Black Mombers, Suleimanu Tete, who won his fight on Monday against Rodrigo De La Rosa, has called on Ghanaians to throw their weight behind him, promising the country a medal.
I'm going to fight against Cuba. And I want to tell Ghanaians that they should not be afraid of Cuba bosses. We are Ghanaian bosses. We can face them. And this is our time. So I want to tell them that they should keep supporting me, and I will deliver it to them. This is our time. We have a history here, and I want to tell Ghanaians that we are going to repeat the history. I want to tell the Ghanaians that I'm going to beat Cuba Bossa, and it's going to be a history for Ghana. So it's watch me out. First of all, I want to thank Active General of Ghana Prison Service, Mr. Ajiri. Congratulations, and I want to tell you that I'll bring you a medal, Olympics medal. And I thank all my classmates, because one was serving prison service. I want to all entire prison service. Thank you all.
Thank you. Suleimanu Tete, captain of the Black Mombers, he's into the quarterfinal of the competition. Unfortunately, Shakul it out. However, Samuel Turkey has also made it to the second stage. On this note, we say thanks very much for joining us for sports on Joy News today with me, Muftau Nabila Ablad. However, there's more sports on my joyonline.com. As you can see over there, Ghana is seeking to end 49-year wait to win a medal in Olympic Games, and the Minister of Youth and Sports, he paid the team a visit and inspired them, asking them to make themselves and Ghanaians proud. The news continues with Daniel Darcy.
Good afternoon, welcome to Showbiz here on Joy News. Now, Ghanaian actress Beverly Afaglu is calling for massive support as well as celebrating persons and works in the Ghanaian movie industry. According to the actress, Ghanaian movies are widely accepted and watched across Europe, but the only problem is Ghanaians not accepting what they locally produce. She spoke to Joy Prime's Ibrahim Bembako.
I wish. Yes, I wish we could go that far. I mean, having awards out there, having festivals out there, not like our movies cannot travel, but I mean celebrated by ourselves out of Ghana. I hope and wish that we'll be able to get there because they love our movies, and both local and what we do, the English, they love it outside. So I think it's about time they start celebrating us this way, like award schemes like this. Yeah.
Is it we not accepting and loving our own? Is that what is?
That's a part of it. That's a part of it. How we shut people off when they go on break or they go on hibernation for their own reasons. Then we shut them off like this person is no more. These are the newest sensation and all that. But we need to celebrate our own good enough so that they stay with us for long, not when they're dead.
Now, music group Keche, after winning Best Group of at the VGMAs and bagging 4 nominations at the Ghana Music Awards UK, have assured fans they are not quitting anytime soon. The group, who have been in the music scene for close to 9 years, says the journey has just begun and will keep working to give fans the very best.
Okay, I always say that awards are just the icing on the cake. The fans making you #1 and enjoying your song cutting across. That's the biggest award we're always expecting. So when it comes to things like this,
So you retiring or something?
Oh no!
Spoke about having to wait for that award, and now you've gotten it. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe you're quitting.
No, we're not quitting. When we talk about awards, as an artist, you can make all the money you want. You can get all the hits you want, but then tomorrow, when you are old and you have your kids and all that, what is there to prove? Yes, there is internet, but there should be something. This is what showed that your works were being recognized. Like we do say all the time, even being a nominee itself is an award. You can also show that your works were being recognized. We are not quitting, we're just working harder. In fact, you can tell this year we haven't put up any song yet, so that should tell you that there is something heavy really coming. So we're working tirelessly to keep giving Ghanaians, our fans, the best of songs, and then keep collecting the award and keep making the money.
I like the laugh.
Becky, thanks so much.
Oh, anytime, Daniel.
All right, so that's where we end this bulletin of Joy News today. Becky?
For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. That's where you find all the news. The entertainment segment is there.
All right. So up next is the Marketplace. See you tomorrow with another Joy News today. Have a good one.
Bye.